Do me a favor, marry me. Do me a favor, can't you see? I'm on a favor to be Middle Island you. Oh, do me a favor, share my lot. Do me a favor, tie the knot. Darling, the waiver and we'll come smiling through. Say the word, dear, we do as other folks do, raise 2 or 3. It's absurd, dear, that I should have to coax you. Don't be afraid to take a chance with me. Oh, you won't regret it when we're one. Oh, baby, we'll have fun. I won't forget it, so do me a favor, dear. Yes, yes, yes. Listen, honey, have you got $1.90? Well, I got the dime. Go on out here and find a parson. Yes, my.
The first time he ever got a $100 bill, Al Capone gave it to him. Now, it's a funny thing how that happened. My father was playing in Chicago. See, Al Capone lived in a suburb of Chicago called Joliet, Illinois. And he was playing in the show one night at the Sherman Hotel, Hotel Sherman in Chicago. And one night they pulled up in the car, and the guys come in and told him, said, "Come on, Fats, we want to take you somewhere." He said, "What?" And they pulled a gun on him and told him, "Come on." So my father was trying to think, well, what the hell, whose wife am I going out with now that somebody's going to do this to me, right? He didn't know what the hell the problem was, right? So they took him on, blindfolded him, and took him to some place, took the blindfold off, sat him down, and Al Capone said, "Come on, play for us, Fats." And whatever they asked him to play a tune, they stuck $100 in his pocket. And my father, when he left out of there, they kept him a day and a half. When he left out of there, all his pockets were full of $100 bills.
Got my fingers crossed. Not that I'm superstitious, I'm afraid it's too good to be true. Yada yada, got my fingers crossed. No wonder I'm suspicious. I'm so gay in skies, I'm much too blue. Blue, don't want no trouble with old man Trouble. That goes double yes on account of because of love, yes. Got my fingers crossed. This thrill is so delicious. I'm afraid it's too good to be true. Yes, yes, swing it on out, yes, yes. What I say, yeah. Oh, my. Well, all right.
In the jazz age, from say 1922, the music was actually created for dancing because everybody, the world was dance crazy then everywhere. The gangsters ran all the night business. I mean, like they were bootlegging, and they used the nightclubs to, to sell their wares, and they opened up nightclubs all over the country and had bands and chorus girls and things in order to sell the whiskey. And then also what made the music business was dance halls. They had dance halls. Every little town you could go to had a pavilion, a dance pavilion, and they'd have a house band of local musicians working there.
My father started, when he was a little boy, well, his father was a deacon in the Abyssinia Baptist Church in Harlem. My father used to come into the church, and Adam Clayton Powell Sr. used to pump the organ for him. My father would sneak in and play jazz. And he also used to play in the church. He used to play religious music in there. But I remember my father telling me that his father whipped him a couple of times for playing jazz on the organ in Abyssinia Baptist Church. But even back then, my father had a lot of cronies and friends in Harlem that they could see that he had a talent when he was very young. He was 13, 12, or 11, and he was playing the piano and organ. And he played religious music. He used to get all the music that he could get a hold of and play it. He'd play Scott Joplin, he'd play classical music, anything he could read or learn from, he'd sit down and play. And he used to play, when he was a kid, he used to play 8, 9 hours a day. And he'd sneak out and go into the clubs where the guys were playing or the after-hour places. He'd get out of his bed 2 o'clock in the morning and sneak out the house, right? And go to these clubs and sit down and play and practice and play and watch the guys playing piano. James P. Johnson, Lucky Roberts, they all took him under his wing. Willie the Lion Smith got my father the first long pants he had, because James P. once brought my father to Willie Lion Smith and said, let him sit down and play. And Willie Lion Smith, not with them knickers, he's not gonna sit down and play. So let's go get him a pair of pants. Right after that, when Willie the Lion heard my father play, he fell in love with him right away. And that started his career, right in New York.
Did you hear what the lady said?
Not exactly. What did she say?
She said, I got a snap in my finger.
Yeah?
And a rhythm in my walk.
You don't tell me.
As the elephant said, living in a great big way.
Oh, get away from here. That's too much.
I got a handful of nothing.
What?
But I peep at it like a hawk.
Peep at nothing?
I'm doing okay, living in a great big way.
Tell me more, tell me more.
Listen here, sir. I'm the salt in the ocean. I'm the sun in the sky. I'm a Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Not the president.
I'm $1 million, long as I've got snap in my finger.
Oh, stop.
And a rhythm in my walk.
Get away from here.
I got the devil to pay. I'm living in a great big way.
Well, let me tell you something.
What is it?
Gotta snap my finger.
Yeah, yeah.
Rhythm in my mouth.
No.
Doing okay. Living in a great big way. Got a handful of nothing.
Go ahead, yeah.
Watching like a hawk.
No, you didn't.
As the elephants say, I'm living in a gigantic, colossal way.
Tell me some more.
I'm salt in the ocean. I'm that sun up in the sky. I'm a Franklin D. Roosevelt. I've $1 million as long as I retain that snap in the fingers and the rhythm in the walk. Oh, dear. Doing okay. I'm living in a great big way.
In the 20s and 30s, they had what we call house rent parties. And usually to throw the police off, they would call them joints. And Fats Waller and Andrew Zoff got together and did a thing called This Joint is Jumping, and here it is. This joint is jumping, really jumping. Come in, cats, and check your hats. I mean, this joint is jumping.
And that's how stride piano became popular, because they just used one piano player in a party, and stride piano was so powerful that bombs could go off in the room and you could still hear the piano. I mean, you could dance, yell, scream, kick down doors, whistle, anything you want, and you could still hear that piano playing.
My, oh, yes, yes. My, they have a new expression along the Harlem way that tells you when a party is 10 times more than gay. To say that things are jumping leaves not a single doubt. Watch all these cats, watch everything when you hear somebody shout. This joint is jumping, really jumping. Come in, cats, and check your hands. I beat this joint is jumping. Piano's pumping, dancers are bumping. Every Moses on his toes, in fact, the joint is jumping. Check your weapons at the door, just pay a quarter. Burn your leather around the floor, grab anybody's daughter. The roof is rocking.
Red parties was always after-hour kind of things, where that sporting fellas, you know, gamblers, and they had poker and craps and all that, and sold whiskey and stuff. First of all, you had to be a certain age. If you wasn't, you could tell a good lie or look like you were older to get into them. But once you get in there, a drink of whiskey was 50 cents, and you could eat a dinner for 75 cents. And usually, it was owned by a landlady.
It's really jumping.
I know it.
Come in, cats, and check your hats. I mean, this joint is jumping. Piano thumping, dancers are bumping. Every Moses on his toes. In fact, the joint is jumping.
Tell 'em about it.
Check your weapons at the door. Now be sure and pay your quarter.
That's it, get the
Burn your
quarter.
leather on the floor, boy, and grab anybody's daughter.
Except
the
my
roof is
daughter.
rocking. The neighbors are knocking. We're all bummed when the wagon comes. I mean, this joint is jumping.
Turn it loose.
Come on, push it, Ram. Give me the pony.
Get your big feet binging, there's plenty in the kitchen. What is that? You just walked in, just look at the way it's switching. Oh, mercy. Don't mind now, cause I'm in power. I got bail if we go to jail. I mean, this joint is jumping, yeah. Up! Don't ever give your right name. No, don't ever do that. I mean, this joint is jumping, yeah.
It was the swinging of the left hand that designated as being stride piano. It was practically taking the part that a bass violin now takes in other orchestrations, because stride piano players usually were playing without bass violins or anything in those days.
A lot of other guys, when they play the bass, when they stride, they play the bass, they play a single note in the bass, you know, and then accompanied with a chord on top. Well, Fats used to have a chord on both places, but only the lower chord would be a tenth with the other notes in between with the other fingers, and he would then play the chord on top. Now, Teddy Wilson and Earl Hines would play a tenth, but they didn't put the middle notes in and play the chord on top. With the stride piano I'm talking about. But guys played that according to their physical ability to reach a tenth. But Fats reached it easily, and that's why he was able to apply other notes in the middle of it. And then there's a story about Earl Hines that he had the web cut in his left hand in order to stretch his hand out, the web between his thumb and his first finger. And then I heard another piano player that had an extension put on his little finger so he could reach a flat tenth.